can something be culturally acceptable but spiritually unhealthy?
Hispanics are like to drink.
Hey.
We like to party and drink.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys are normalizing this.
The rap culture. It's a culture that promotes all the wrong things that go against Christianity.
The first thing I would say, the dancing. I could definitely say now it is extremely provocative.
I still like go to my family functions and the salsa's gonna be there and I'm like dancing with my brother. You know?
Yeah.
Crazy movement would be like a person going to a club and like
Yeah.
dancing on a woman, or like a woman dancing on a man.
Okay, yeah.
There's like a sexual vibe to it.
Yeah.
And that's a normalized thing today in social media, sadly.
Even sayings. Bro, there's some sayings in Haitian Creole that if I translated them in English, I don't know if I'd be able to get let back into church. I had to realize that there are some things that aren't inherently sinful but can lead you into sin. What's going on, real ones? It's Caleb here. Check me out. Look, I know we got a lot going on. I mean, we got ebooks, business affiliate links, we got merch. All of that is popping off. There's so much to keep track of. However, we've made it easy just for you. We're gonna have a QR code, right? That's gonna be on the video the entire time. So anytime you feel like you wanna go and check out any of the stuff that we got going on, just go ahead and scan that QR code and you'll literally be able to see everything that we have just for you. Let's continue with the episode.
You know, culture tells you where you came from, but faith determines who you're becoming. The challenge is knowing what to embrace, what to redeem, what to leave behind. So my opening question, Caleb, you came from a Haitian background.
Yes, sir.
Allison, you came from a Hispanic background.
I did.
Let me start by asking you both this question. What are some things that were considered completely normal in your culture or heritage growing up that as you matured in your faith, you realized you were actually in conflict with your Christian convictions? And what was it like navigating that tension between honoring your culture and honoring God? I'm gonna toss it up to Caleb first.
Awesome. Okay, so Haitian culture. I would say just embedded in being a Haitian alone, there are a lot of things that kind of culturally wise that kind of are rubbed the wrong way against Christian convictions. And I could definitely say the first thing I would say, the dancing.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Haitians are known for their dancing.
your hips don't
Okay,
lie.
hey, I don't know if my hips don't lie. They might now. I don't know. But so in Haitian culture, right, we have a lot of different types of dances, but one of the most that we are most prominent for knowing is called guyad, right? And so with guyad, I want to explain it in a way where it is palpable, but I'm also appropriate.
Yeah.
So guyad involves a lot of hip movement. Okay, it involves a lot of hip movement, a lot of gyrating, a lot of, back and forth and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great if you're married. But if you're not, that could lead you to a whole nother predicament that you don't want to find yourself in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for me, kind of growing up in that culture, at first, as a kid, it seemed regular. It seemed normal. I'd go to Haitian weddings, Haitian parties, or even just be in the house. And I would see, things like this as a child. And I'm like, oh, no, that's completely normal, completely innocent, right?
Yeah.
But as I got older and as I really started to understand what it means to be a man in Christ, and even just what it means to be a follower of Christ in general, I had to realize that there are some things that aren't inherently sinful but can lead you into sin.
Right.
And guyad was one of them. Seeing how that dance was performed.
Yeah.
I could definitely say now it is extremely provocative.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those things where it's like, okay, you married, you got that. You can go ahead and do that with your wife, do that with your husband. Covenant has covered all of that. But if you're not, I don't know, man, you got to be real careful about that.
Yeah.
But I'd say that's like one of the most prominent things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, in the Latin culture, it's kind of similar. Like, there's a lot of, like, the bachata and salsa sometimes, depending on how you do it. It's kind of similar. But for Hispanic culture, honestly, I would say, like, don't get mad at me, y'all, but Hispanics are like to drink.
Hey.
We like to party and drink. It's the Corona, the tequila, the this, the that. It's at every party you can go to. You see 5 different coolers, 5 different types. It's insane, and it kind of gets to the point where it's like, yeah, you can have a drink, whatever, but then they go excessive. They pass that point. They feel like they can't party without having a drink, and at that point, so I grew up in a Christian household. My parents are pastors, so I never kind of grew up in that, but I did have a lot of friends that I would go to their parties and things like that, and I would just be there like 12 years old, just looking at these people just sloppy, this, that, all back and forth, where I was like, this isn't right. This is not where I'm supposed to be. And it's crazy because there's some like of my friends that are Hispanic, and we like talk about like, oh, when was the first time you had a drink? They're like 13, and I'm like, excuse me? Like having a drink at 13, because they did it at a party. It's very normal in the culture. Even like back home, I've been to Dominican Republic, I've been to all these places, and they're like, yeah, like it's so funny that I went to Dominican Republic one time, and then the neighbors, like one of the people that I was staying with, their neighbor was like, oh, like some kids were playing, and was like, hey, take this money, buy yourself something, and go get me a drink. And the kid can go, he's like 10 years old, and he can go to the supermarket, get an alcoholic beverage, and just take it to the person, and they get themselves a little chip or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, you guys are normalizing this. This is insane.
Right. Yeah.
So I would say it's like with alcohol, like Hispanic cultures, it's a little scary. So yeah.
Okay. And I would say for me personally, as we all know, I grew up with Jamaican parents. And I would say in our culture, we would eat, sleep, and just walk and talk and live the Bible, live Christianity, live going to church. So in a way, my Jamaican culture was very closely connected to Christianity. I didn't see any conflicts from the Jamaican culture into Christianity.
Yeah.
They just kind of went together, hand in hand.
Yeah. When you go back home, like when you go to visit Jamaica, do you see that though with like your family back home, or it's like it's your whole family, like even back in Jamaica?
Well, to be honest, I haven't been there in a minute, so I have no clue.
Okay.
But I will say from what my parents have taught me about how they grew up, it was the same exact thing. They ate, slept, lived, talked, walked Christianity, talked nothing but Jesus. If it wasn't Jesus, then you're out the house.
Yeah.
So that's how it was.
Up the house.
No,
That's
literally,
brutal.
literally.
Yeah, because I have Jamaican friends, and my grandfather's Jamaican as well, but I never like grew up with that, but I have heard that like, they do a lot of drugs over there and things, so that's a big thing in the Jamaican culture where it's a very normal thing, and that's why I was kind of asking, like, did you see that if you were over there? So
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
But okay, so I do want to talk about one thing that I think that just even the three of us, and even in American culture, we can see this as well. The music. Let's talk about the music, right? Yeah. So every culture has music and forms of entertainment that they kind of tell a story of who we are. They tell of our history, they tell of our struggles, they tell of our triumphs, they tell of, nightlife and just the culture of the area, right? But as beautiful as a culture can be, sometimes the messages and the values, or even sometimes the lifestyles that get attached to, the different kinds of music that come out of our cultures, they can create a little tension with our faith, right? So let's talk about it, right? So when it comes to listening with that music, a lot of people associate listening to either secular music or music of different cultures, right? In the Christian culture, that's seen as something as, and I don't want to use a olden term, but we kind of say it's unclean or unspiritual. I can say that, probably unspiritual, right? So with that, right, can something be culturally acceptable but spiritually unhealthy? What do y'all think?
I would say so. I think music itself isn't evil. It's more like the lyrics and the message behind it is where it kind of gets evil. Because you can have like a good little beat, there are some gospel songs where you're like, oh, what is it like? Put on my backpack, things like that. Where it's like, it's a good beat, it's a good vibe, and the message is good.
Yeah.
But then there's other songs out there where words aren't the best.
Yeah.
And there was one thing, like I heard this song I actually saw this video where a church, because they want to kind of fit in with the younger generation and things like that. We're kind of taking over the churches now and things like that. That they're trying to kind of liven up the worship time.
Yeah.
And I saw this one church where they kind of remixed the Fiend song by Travis Scott.
Okay.
And it's crazy because I don't agree with that personally. And there's another song that I kind of heard. It's like by Gorilla or whatever. And they tried to change it into like Christian words, but the beat was there, the rhythm was there, everything was the same.
Okay.
When I heard it, I was like, the first thing that came to my mind was Travis Scott.
Yeah.
It wasn't the message that they were trying to explain through the song. And it's kind of like, if you're trying to bring in people like, younger generation or things like that to see your videos, to want to come to church, to kind of want to be in with Christ and things like that, I get it, you're trying to reach out to them, but I don't think that's the right way, because you're kind of sending a message like, oh, you can probably listen to these songs, just like change up a little word here and there. And sometimes I, as a person that likes to listen to music, I like beats more than lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, when I listen to music, I don't hear the lyrics until like the third time I hear that song. I'm like, oh, that's what he said?
Okay.
And I could be there like, oh, if they're saying like, oh yeah, this is a song, and they're playing that song, the Travis Scott song or whatever, and I can be like, oh yeah, it's definitely the Christian, the clean version or things like that, where it's like, how are we really trying to show this? Like, why can't we get our own producers to like come out with some good like hits that don't have to like be the same thing as the worldly songs?
Yeah.
Right.
I that's where I'm kind of just, I don't really agree with that when it comes to that. I think it's more the beats, the sound and the music is good. I think it's just the lyrics that we have to really, really pay attention to.
I feel you. So when we're talking about music, I would definitely say that there are, of course, certain genres you got to look out for. And one genre that came to mind as we were thinking about this topic was the rap culture.
Okay.
It's a culture that promotes all the wrong things that go against Christianity, having a bunch of baby mamas, shooting people, getting into fights, gang banging.
Lay it all out. Lay it all out.
What am I missing?
Oh, God.
Robbing. All of the bad things that go against Christianity. So, yeah, we just gotta do better and just preach against that.
I love how you just aired them out and it was just like, but we got to do better, y'all.
No, we really do, because our society is normalizing this.
Yeah.
But what we don't realize is it's slowly destroying our culture.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I do have a question, though, okay? And I think that this relates to all three of our cultures, as far as Latin culture, Jamaican culture, and Haitian culture, all right? You talked about the beats, okay? And as a music producer myself, I'm living and breathing music, so I know the science behind it. I know how it works, right? With music, I don't hate to, but it sounds crazy, all right? I'm gonna sound crazy right now.
Just say it.
But it's almost like there are metaphysics in music to kind of manipulate how a body moves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So when there is music like compa, or when there is music like bachata or reggae music, right? Your body will move a certain way if you've grown up in that.
Yeah.
No,
Or even, you don't even, to be honest with you don't even have to grow up in it. Because I remember me growing up, my parents didn't really they didn't really submerge me under Haitian culture a lot. I knew a little bit. And, I kind of understood a couple, words in Creole and stuff like that. But I wasn't really submerged under it. But whenever you played that compa music, Caleb was out there moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it comes to stuff like that, right, can there be purity in that? Because if the beat plays and your body moves, remember, there are no lyrics now.
Yeah.
There are no lyrics, so it's not like there are going to be lyrics to kind of get in the way of your spirituality and your relationship with God. Now we're just talking about beats.
Yeah. I think it's the way you go about it. 'Cause,
Okay.
David danced, but
With all his might.
with all his might.
All his
but
might.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't dancing like on, on a girl or anything like that. So I think it's the way you go about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
we have after service worship parties in the altar on Sundays, and
Yeah.
we go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's very respectful. It's not, we're not, and the beats, that make you want to do it. We do all the crazy dances. So much fun.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just the way you go about it. So I think you can. You got to be very careful to not cross that border.
Yeah.
Right.
And that line.
I
Okay.
would also agree. It definitely depends on like how you're moving. I'll be honest with this, but back when I used to listen to rap music heavy, I remember like a bunch of times I'd be in the car and I'd be like bobbing my head like, okay, this is fire. But like that's not a crazy movement.
Yeah.
A crazy movement would be like a person going to a club and like
Yeah.
dancing on a woman, or
Yeah.
like a woman dancing on a man.
Okay. Yeah.
There's like a sexual vibe to it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which makes it immoral. So it all depends on that.
Okay. So with that, right, can you enjoy culture without embracing everything attached to it? What do y'all think? Because like within culture itself, right? There's a lot of attachments.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of things that I hate to say baggage, but there's a lot of baggage that comes with it, right? You know,
Okay.
food,
Yeah.
music, even sayings. Bro, there's some sayings in Haitian Creole that if I translated them in English, I don't know if I'd be able to get let back in the church no more. Nah, but can you be able to embrace your faith and be able to live out your faith without having to embrace everything in your culture, without like dismissing your culture too, because it's part of who you are?
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
Yeah. I would say you can. Again, it's just you got to make sure you're not passing that,
Yeah.
like that, crossing the border, crossing that line.
Yeah.
With it, because I still like go to my family functions, and the salsa's gonna be there, and I'm like dancing with my brother. That's very innocent. I'm doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you can embrace it, and even if it's just the beat or the lyrics and things like that, as long as you're not like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and always like play this song every single time and then keep going on it and keep moving forward with it. So I would say you can. You just got to be careful to not cross that border.
Okay.
I agree. I also think it depends on the culture, because I'm going to go ahead and talk about the American culture, because growing up in America, I was exposed to, the digital age, as we all were.
Yeah.
And gradually, as I was getting older, on social media, I've noticed a trend where people would sexualize themselves.
Yeah.
And that's a normalized thing today in social media, sadly.
Yeah.
And that's something that has been indoctrinated into our culture.
Yeah.
So, which of course goes against Christianity. If we look at the sexual revolution that happened, I believe, in the 1960s, we can clearly see the impact that it has in our society today.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I would say so holidays and celebrations also are kind of
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
really big,
Yeah.
really, really big thing. So every culture has celebrations, traditions that bring families together and create lasting memories. But what happens when the meaning behind certain customs or practices don't align with what we believe as followers of Christ? So let me ask you guys, is refusing family traditions dishonoring your family?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
That's personal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
real personal.
Yeah.
You said refusing family traditions or cultural traditions.
Family traditions. Well, I would say cultural and family, because,
Okay. Cultural and family traditions. Okay, well, to be honest with you, I think it all depends on what your entire family believes as a whole.
Yeah.
Right? With anything, especially in my household, well, it's not my house, it's my father's household.
Yeah.
I definitely say that. But within the family that I live in, we bring everything back to the word. Everything back to the word.
Yeah.
Right? That's our basis, right? That's our foundation. And in the Bible, Jesus comes and tells us personally, yo, I'm not coming here to make peace on earth. He's like, I'm not coming here to we singing Kumbaya and we're all together. He's like, no, like families will be separated.
Yeah.
It'll be father against son, mother against daughter, sibling against sibling.
Yeah.
Like that's how intense that's gonna be.
Yeah.
Right.
And in that, at least I believe that he's talking about having a relationship with him, and also understanding that there are caveats to Christianity. We don't like to say that, but there really are. There's you got to balance everything out.
Yeah.
And I think that in order to make space for the customs that God would have for us to follow, we got to get rid of some things. And because of that, it hurts to say that, you know, part of your identity has to be shed in order for you to follow Christ. But that's literally what following Christ is.
Yeah.
Right? Paul tells us that you're a new creature. The old is passed away and the new is here, right? You've been crucified with Christ and now you're a new creation. You got to be able to be willing to give that up.
Yeah.
You got to be able to be willing to say, "Yo, look, that holiday seems amazing."
Yeah.
I know, well, you're Panamanian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know in Mexican culture, there's a lot of souped up, you know, holidays
Yeah.
that I've seen.
Like Cinco de Mayo.
Exactly, Cinco de Mayo, Dia de los Muertos, all that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it looks like it looks so much fun.
Tacos. Yeah.
Oh my, yo, I went to a Mexican wedding the other day.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
They had so much fun. But, you know, if that is conflicting with your faith,
Yeah.
I think that's a point of contention where, one, you have to realize, hey, look, this is faith over feelings at this point.
Yeah.
It's either you're choosing 100% God or you're choosing 100% the world.
Yeah.
And like I said, it sucks to say, it really does, but that's what following Christ is. That's laying down your life. That's dismissing your lifestyle to follow the supreme being, your creator,
Yeah.
to receive that award in heaven. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's dishonoring your family because obviously one of the 10 Commandments, honor your mother and father, you know?
Yeah.
But that's where you have to communicate with them your boundaries. You have to tell them, hey, you know, I don't agree with this. This doesn't align with my faith, unfortunately. I love you guys. I you know, I want to go to these parties. I want to do this, but it's just, it crosses a line.
Yeah.
And you can have disagreements without dishonoring.
Yeah.
As long as you have that communication with your people and they love you and they understand your faith and you're open about it, of course.
Yeah.
And you talk to them and say, hey, look, like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to go to this function, whatever the case may be. I know it's part of, you know, the family tradition, but it's just not what aligns with me. I think that's where you can have that conversation, and if they understand, you can disagree with it, but you're still honoring them. You're still, you open that conversation, because you can also just be like, I'm not doing it, bye, and then like not have that conversation.
Yeah.
So that's where you need to communicate with them and make sure that you're going about it the right way.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
fair. When it comes to dishonoring your family, if we look at the Bible, you know, it talks about the hierarchy where it goes God over man, man over woman, woman over children. And as long as the children are, you know, obeying their parents, then all is good. Like what Ali was saying, how it's okay to disagree, just as long as you don't dishonor them. As long as those boundaries are set and you're still obeying your parents, then again, all should be good.
Absolutely. Now, with holidays, right, that kind of segues us into a very spiritually sensitive topic. And that's things like superstitions, things like spiritual practices and witchcraft and all the things that Christians are kind of scared of to get in nowadays.
Let me tell you, one more person asked me what my sign is. Can you get out of my face with that?
No.
Why don't you put the same energy that you put in those crystals into reading the Bible?
Oh, snap. Snap.
No, why?
Go ahead, go on.
I'm so sorry. That just bothers me because people are like, you're a this, you're a that, and they think that your personality and they think the way that you are is because of the way that the stars aligned and this. I'm like, you know who created the stars, the sun, and the moon?
Hey,
Yeah.
Come on now.
So why are we talking about this and it aligns in your personality? And that's why you argue that way. That's why you cry this way. That's why you do all this stuff, is because the stars were this way when you were born. How does that make sense? Please, I'm so sorry. I got really upset. It just does not make sense to me at all.
Zero.
Hey, them comments gonna be crazy.
I'm so sorry, but it's the truth. It is the truth.
Yeah.
There's no proof in that whatsoever.
Yeah.
No proof.
If we take a look at things like the evil eye, the horoscopes, and the zodiac signs. It's like putting your faith into false idolatry.
Yeah.
If we look at the story with Elijah and the worshipers of Baal, and Elijah was telling them, okay, it's your God versus mine.
Yeah.
And then the worshipers had all this time to get the fire going. They were praising and worshiping their God, but no fire happens. But as soon as Elijah said, like, I believe he said like a quick prayer, instantly the fire lit up and it erupted.
Yeah.
So one man put his faith into the God, and the worshipers of Baal put their faith into a fake thing.
Yeah. Now, just how sensitive does it go, right? What's the cutoff point? Because y'all gonna say, Caleb, you foolish or you stupid for this. Look, man, I love me some fortune cookies, bro.
Oh,
I love fortune cookies. I love fortune cookies, okay? They taste amazing.
They do.
After some chicken fried rice, shrimp fried rice, you get a nice little fortune cookie in the bag.
Yep.
Open it up. That amazing small paper inside.
You are amazing.
You know what I'm saying? And then you pop the fortune cookie in, and it's just the meal is complete.
Yeah.
Now, to people who believe in that stuff, is there a cutoff there? Is that one of those things where it's like, no, we could let that slide, or is it nah, you got to give that up too? Just how sensitive does it go?
That's a really good question. I honestly, like if it's something that does not align with Christ, give it up. Like, why are you gonna fight for something that's truly not what God is, what Christ is?
Yeah.
If you're being obedient, if you're preaching His word, if you're trying to walk in His faith and in the path that He has for you, why not give it up?
Yeah.
You can give up all these other things. Give up the fortune cookie.
Yeah.
It's like,
But they taste so good.
Do you really
Allie.
believe it? Caleb, do you really believe that by reading this paper saying, oh, your career is going to change?
Yeah.
And your career doesn't change, you're going to go back and really think that this next fortune is going to be the one.
Yeah.
But when God tells you
Hey.
Yeah.
your career is going to change, you see it like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are you really putting your faith in?
Wow.
Now with fortune cookies, when the fortune is written on the small little paper, it was written by a random man or a random or a machine.
Be a machine.
Printed,
A woman, a machine, or a man.
Yeah.
How many people got that same fortune cookie? Let's be
That too. They just copy and pasted it and sent it out like thousands of times.
Yeah.
So if the answer isn't coming from the Bible or God Himself, then don't even stress about it.
Yeah.
Don't put your faith in that.
So now this brings us into our next discussion question.
Yeah.
Family traditions and honor.
Yeah.
Culture doesn't shape what we eat or how we celebrate. It also shapes how we think, how we handle relationships, and how we believe it's normal. But can you honor your family and your heritage without inheriting every mindset and tradition that comes with it? So, does honoring your parents mean agreeing with everything?
Ooh. Elijah, you want to take that one first?
Nah, you got it, bro.
I got it. All right, here we go, y'all. I think that because it's a commandment to honor God in the Bible, or to honor your parents. Sorry, I think that because it's a commandment to honor your parents in the Bible, and the fact that God gave you that commandment, that by any means that it's possible.
Yeah.
Right. And so when it comes to honoring your parents, it doesn't tell you agree with everything, just to honor them. There is such thing as respectful disagreement, right? There are instances where it's like, hey, I see it this way, or the Bible says it's this way. I got to follow the Bible before I follow you guys. And I think that if you have parents who love you, if you have parents who are understanding, and that may not be the case for everybody, right? But God works on hearts. The Holy Spirit works on hearts. That's not our job. Our job is simply to what? Follow the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So I think that you can absolutely disagree, but at the same time, honor your parents and give them that dignity and respect that they have had over your life since the day you were born.
Yeah.
Yeah, my boy Caleb just cooked on that one. I don't know what to say.
I would say I'm kind of going to bring it back to the Hispanic culture. It's not what has been embedded in me, but what I've seen in a lot of my friends. It's in Spanish. It's called machismo.
I think I've
So-
heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically like catering. Okay. There's that line again where they like cross that line. It's machismo is like where you're like catering to your man.
Yeah, that's the.
It's where he goes to work and all you clean his food, you feed him basically, you do this, you don't talk when you're out with him. He's the like everything him, and you put yourself and your identity aside.
Okay.
And that's kind of how some Latina women were raised, where it's like you have to feed your like, and that's where it crosses because as a wife, as a woman in Christ, of course you want to cook for your husband, you want to help him in this and that, but it's a partnership as well, and you guys are one. In this one, it's in machismo, that word in the Hispanic heritage, Hispanic culture, that's basically saying like he's the one and you have to cater to him. And a lot of women were raised like that, where I even saw this video one time where this girl, she had her boyfriend over at the mom's house and she served herself food before serving her boyfriend food. And her mom like hit her with the belt. It's like,
Oh, wow.
how dare you? You were supposed to and doing all this stuff. And it's like, wow, because the mom was raised like that, prior, because it's like a generational thing, now she's trying to embed it to the daughter, and the daughter's not that type of person, where she started fighting with the mom. And it was kind of like, why is it was so hard to see and hurting to see that there's some women, like, mothers and things like that, and generational things that they embed into Hispanic women, where it's like you have to cater to your man and kind of bow at his feet. So
Okay.
yeah.
So it looks like we're just about out of time, but any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Yeah. I guess I'll go first. Look, at the end of the day, faith over feelings.
Yeah.
Faith over feelings. It's definitely something that is an absolute thing to say, but I mean, if you're following Christ, there's no halfway.
Yeah.
You got to be hot or you got to be cold.
Yeah.
And I think that within our cultures, I think that God definitely gives us room to enjoy our cultures.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
He has created every human being. He's created every culture. He knows what's going on the earth.
Yeah.
Right? And he knows how much we love our identities and what he's placed in us. So he's given us space for that. But at the same time, you got to remember that there's a goal at the end of all of this. There's a goal to bring Christ out to the nations, a goal to represent Christ within the streets, the highways and byways, and whatever environment that you're in. So I think that when it comes to it like I said, faith over feelings.
Yeah.
I can't even really explain
honestly,
anything more.
right.
That's just what it is.
Yeah, you explained it very well. It's like we can't be lukewarm Christians in that aspect. God created you the way you are.
Exactly.
He gave you those dance moves.
Yeah.
He showed you how to listen to the beat and be able to do it.
Yeah.
So you can dance. You can do these things. You just have to make sure that it's honoring him.
Absolutely.
And it's not crossing the boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah, just always remember, just never have one foot in, one foot out. And if you're experiencing a family tradition, and if you feel some type of conviction in your heart, just check yourself. Talk to God about it.
Yeah.
And see what answer he gives you.
Absolutely.
Now, as we've discussed today, God never asks us to abandon our heritage, but he does call us to examine every tradition, belief, and practice through the lens of his word. At the end of the day, our identity isn't found first in our ethnicity or traditions, but in Christ. Thank you for tuning in. Our hope is that our conversation has helped you on your journey to becoming the best version of yourself. And until next time.